Hello brew peeps, hope all is well in Brewland. This is another trial batch for a dark ale. The grain bill I developed is for a 1 gallon batch. It's 2.1 of 2-row for a base grain, 0.2 of double roasted because I'm on this double roasted kick lately. Because I just love the aroma and the colors. It's great. I'm surprised I don't know, I never tried it before, and it's, where have you been all my life, for real? It's so good. Biscuit, 0.1 of biscuit, and then 0.1 of black malt to give it some color. As you can tell, the color's pretty getting dark so far. So let me know in there for a few minutes. Ooh, sorry. I just want to close this because I don't want to lose the heat. All right, so what else I got going on for this batch is kind of switched it up a bit. Like my piggy, I got it today at the Dollar General. I'm using Smitten for my bittering hops. It has a of 9.8%. I like using the whole hops a lot because it has far less sediment, and yeah, just far less sediment. It's less messy, and it looks pretty too. The brew store where I get my brew supplies from only has so many different types in the whole hop, but if I was, better about ordering online, I probably would order other ones, and as many as I could in the whole hop, because it's just so much better to use, I feel. Then I decided to actually totally switch it up from the other ones that I've done with. I've used Chinook, I've used El Dorado, El Dorado, Chinook. I think those are the only two that I kind of, as my main hop. Because the Chinook, even though I don't know what it's actually supposed to taste like, but it has, to me, like a white grape taste to it. El Dorado has some spices and some berry notes to it, which is good for a dark ale, because I'm going for like a wine, kind of like a wine-ish aroma, like kind of like a Cabernet, like a oaky, fruity type of aroma. But what I decided to use this time was Nelson, which is what I use in my New Zealand. It's a really good balancing hop, I feel. Like, it goes good with all different types of flavors and fruitiness, like spiciness. It just balances well with different types of hops. And the hop that I'm using is totally different. I've never used it before. It's Callista, Callista. It's a German, so I figured that'd be good for a dark ale, and it has fruity and herbal tones to it. So, and it's a very low APA, but I'm not using it for anything but aroma, so I'll be adding it towards the end. The longer your hop is in the boil, the more bitter it becomes. So what I'm going to do is I'm adding both of these at 55, more for the aroma quality of it, and then the Centennial I'm going to add at the beginning for some bittering. The APA is usually I use about 16%, so it's a little bit lower. So with a dark ale, you want to go a little bit less on the bittering than an IPA. But where it's about a little bit more than half, I just decided to go with 0.2. So 0.2 ounces on that one, and then 0.2 and 0.2 on both of those, just to make it easy. I don't know. Usually I'll use 0.2 of like a 13, 14, up to 16% on the boil for my New Zealand or other IPAs, and then I'll use 2.5 at 30, about 45 and 55. So I'm almost cutting it in half with the aroma hops a little bit, not really, like instead of using, because I'd be using like 5, so no, I'm actually cutting it down from 0.5 overall after the boil to 0.4. So I'm only cutting it down a little bit, but again, I'm adding it towards the very end, so it's going to be more aromatic, less bittering. Then I will be adding Irish moss and Warlock for clarifier. Warlock actually has Irish moss in it and something else that helps with the haze. I don't like hazy at all. I just like clear beer. Then I just randomly decided to use coriander seed. I used a half a teaspoon. I'm not even sure how much you're supposed to put in there. Probably Google it. Just kind of winging it. I figured a half teaspoon seemed pretty reasonable for a 1 gallon batch. I'll probably add that, I'd say like maybe a half an hour to 15 minutes. I'm actually gonna Google it and see what people say. A lot of information that I find, people have asked me before, is on forums. There's a lot of good information on forums. Lastly, I'll be adding oak chips soaked in Merlot. This has been in there for at least 2 weeks. I'll add that, and probably after active fermentation, due to before I've added it 1 week prior, and the oak wasn't enough, like you couldn't taste it enough, so I'm trying to add it earlier now. And that's it. This is actually a pretty long video. All right, peace out.